This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to hockey season. My goodness, does it feel good to get everything up and underway. Finally, Bob Stauffer launched his new 5 to 7 show today, hence why I'm a little late getting the video up than normal. And secondary to that, Sports 1440 launched today. Jason Gregor, Oilers Nation, and Stingray Radio's new venture, getting us covered for what has been already an exciting unofficially day one to the NHL season, as we call it for the Edmonton Oilers. Captain skates underway today. It's been a whole big day of news. I have more slides than I've ever had in a video. I will tell you that. Getting these all ready as Jeff Jackson spoke on Bob Stauffer's Oilers Now 5 to 7 program that launched this evening. Okay, friends, before we get too far into it, I know it's a new hockey season, so I got to make sure I ask for this. If you are new to the channel, or you've been around for a little while and haven't done it yet, if you could consider hitting that subscribe button, that would be greatly appreciated. I'd love to have you aboard, and obviously love to talk Edmonton Oilers with you all season long, as we have just started it on the Tuesday after Labor Day long weekend. So we hit to this right away. The big news, of course, I'm sitting there listening to Bob Stauffer and Oilers Now 5 to 7, figuring, you know what, Jeff Jackson's on, there's going to be some good stuff. No, the good stuff, the stuff you really want to hear about, is over on Sports 1440 for some reason, where Jason Gregor's talking away and he drops this on his program, hearing some whispers though that the Oilers might sign another guy here to a league minimum salary. This coming from Jason Gregor on Sports 1440, or as you can see as well on Oilers Nation's live stream. So that's what happens right away. Bing bang, it's up and on. That's good news, but I think too we already knew that was likely to happen, rather it be with Brandon Sutter or Sam Gagner. You've got two PTOs at camp. More than likely, you're going to sign one of the two. More than likely, you're probably going to sign the guy that is most easily going to transport back between the big club and Bakersfield all season long. Sam Gagner, I think most of us feel he will be a full-time NHLer this season, whereas Brandon Sutter, as I've had conversations with Patrick from the Oilers Fanatic, conversations with other Oilers fans, Brandon Sutter seems like a guy you bury in the minors. Bring him up when you absolutely need to. Send him back down as soon as you possibly can. That seems to be the role. And honestly, for the Condors, not necessarily the worst kind of guy to have around. A guy who once upon a time wore a letter in Vancouver and is also trying to get his game back up to speed to seek that next actual NHL role. All right, that's where we move on to Mr. Bob Stauffer. Actually breaking news earlier today. And I say this is news because Bob Stauffer doesn't normally hint at things just randomly, and obviously we've heard a summer of Philip Broberg transitioning to the right side. So here's Bob Stauffer about 2-ish hours ago from when I clipped this, so about 5 o'clock this afternoon, hinting that Philip Broberg will be an interesting player to watch. Now, Bob's got the inside track on this one. That's why I said this isn't just some off-the-wall prediction. This is Bob throwing kind of, hey, watch for this in camp, watch for this during the season. We'll have the stats in a moment. I won't worry about that too much. Could see the 8th overall pick in the 2019 draft. Push for more playing time, possibly on the right side. And that's where I say, right, Bob Stauffer normally hints at things and kind of lets it play out for a little while, and then it happens. So we'll see what kind of evolves during training camp here for the Edmonton Oilers and Philip Broberg. But I assume that if Bob Stauffer's hinting at it, we will see it at least game 1, game 2 of the NHL preseason with Philip Broberg. All right, let's bring up Broberg stats, because I think for some of us we'd be like, oh, well, that's not really great, because if he's failed as a lefty and we're transitioning into a right D, I've already seen those comments on Twitter today. How great could this really be? Well, he had 1 goal, 7 assists, 46 games played last season, 12 minutes, 36 seconds time on ice, 32 shots, and a 3.1 shooting percentage. Mind you, as an offensive defenseman or an offensive-minded defenseman, I'd like to see that shooting percentage around 4.5. And obviously, too, if he's going to play on his right side, he'll likely play with Mattias Ekholm. So I'd like to see that time on ice creep up to 15 minutes a night. And as well, those shots on goal creep up a little bit higher, right? Probably quadruple the time on ice. So 60, 75 shots on goal if he's in that number 2 spot, whatever you want to say, on the right-hand side. Alongside Mattias Ekholm, you'd like to see him at a 4.5 shooting percentage and chipping in a few extra goals this season. Maybe 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there would be really nice for for Philip Broberg. Obviously 5'6" is pushing it, but you get where I'm going with the 3 or 4. All right. That is Philip Broberg. But again, here's the other side too. I need to mention this. We talked about it last preseason, but I need to talk about it here because this is going to be a storyline to watch. Currently on Sportsnet, so this is, I assume, last year's weigh-in and stuff for Philip Broberg. He had added a lot of muscle, a lot of weight during the offseason last year. Be interesting to see if he did that again this year come camp. And obviously kind of rated in that 6'3", 199-pound range. So you would like to see if Philip Broberg is going to be a top 4 D-man, if he's going to play on his offside. You'd like to see that physical side of him, that body strength even side of him, be a little bit more, well, sizable, right? And 6'3", you're not going to argue with that. But 199, I wouldn't be surprised to see Broberg come into camp about 205 to 210 and physically force his way into a little bit more corner battles, a little more successfully throughout the season. So that's Philip Broberg. Now, I believe the next one we've got queued up here is the changes. I did not mention this off the top, but the changes to the coaching staff for the Edmonton Oilers this season. Noah Segall has been named video coach. He was formerly with the Condors. This, I will say, the Bakersfield Insider that I got down there was very correct in saying that it would be Noah Segall who would take over for Jeremy Koppel, who departed earlier this offseason. And Mike Finelli joins the hockey club as video and coaching analytics coordinator. That, my friends, is huge because you see analytics in somebody's job title in the Edmonton Oilers organization. Jeff Jackson talking about making the Oilers best in class while everybody else is using analytics. Maybe we should get with the times and do it ourselves. But that's just a theory at this point. When it comes to trying to win a Stanley Cup, you might as well try everything and try to be the best at it, because maybe that wins the Stanley Cup in 2024. Finelli, of course, joins the Oilers from the USHL Sioux City Musketeers. He was formerly with the Tampa Bay Lightning, so he's been around. And of course, Noah Segall as well, formerly with the Condors, but spent last year with the Oilers as, I believe, video coordinator. So that is where he's at. Sorry, maybe that's his time with the AHL. Yes, team's video coach. So he was kind of behind the scenes with Jeremy Koppel in that situation. So there we go. All right, that's what you've got there. Maybe there's more to these slides. Let's go see if I've got anything else. I've got one last thing. My apologies. I don't even know how much I got. I told you I had a lot. Jeff Jackson, he was on, Bob Stauffer's Oilers Now 5 to 7 show, the inaugural guest. Bob Stauffer was talking about how every inaugural guest he's ever had in Edmonton was Kevin Lowe, and now the man that's kind of taken that Kevin Lowe role within the Edmonton Oilers hockey operations organization that, well, Lowe was there for throughout every inaugural show Stauffer had since 2003, Jeff Jackson on the program. And this is kind of the thing. I hope I spelled Rick Precy's name right. I really hope so. That would look goofy on me if I didn't. But he praised Rick Precy as an organized and progressive scout, and of course he's the head guy right now. We fired Tyler Wright this past summer, and the reason we fired Tyler Wright was Jeff Jackson walked in and he's like, I don't know who you are. I don't really feel comfortable with you. My friend, have a nice summer. Good luck finding a job elsewhere. That's pretty much how it seems that conversation probably went. And that's why Rick Precy came in, obviously knew the experience Precy had, liked what he'd done before, and moved him in and was very comfortable with him. So felt like it was a good fit, and that's where we sit today, friends. A busy day one. Oh, did I not mention that it was also captain skates today? We didn't really get much news out of that so far. I'll look forward to seeing what maybe Zach Hyman has to say here on Oilers Now this evening as well, and then we'll get a second upload in. But this is your news of the day. Huge episode to start things off. 9 minutes. We haven't been there in a long dang while. Friends, thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon. Really appreciate you being aboard. I'm excited, if you can't tell. If you are, once again, new to the channel, I'd love to have you hit that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. That would mean a lot to me. If not, and I don't talk to you the rest of tonight, thank you so much for being along for the ride. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and I am up on out of here.